I want to cut across right now to my colleague Sahil Joshi, our Mumbai Bureau Chief, who is going to break down this rebellion for our viewers. How much meat is in it to actually pull down the Maha Vikas Aghadi, Sahil? If we look at pure numbers, and we're going to put those graphics out right next to you when you take us through the numbers and how they are stacked up. Are they against the Uddhav Thackeray government right now? What are you picking up?
Right now what we can see is that this is clearly planned and executed rebellion because otherwise there was no chance that 26 MLAs together immediately after voting in the MLC elections yesterday at Maharashtra Assembly, attending meeting with Uddhav Thackeray just day before, travelled together to Surat, the BJP ruled state, and after that they became completely incommunicado. There was no communication whatsoever after they voted in the MLC elections. Shiv Sena as a party only got to know that their MLAs have cross-voted only after the results were out, when they got to know that their own two candidates got elected but did not get the required number of votes they had already planned, which clearly showed that almost 12 MLAs who were supporting Shiv Sena had cross-voted to the BJP, and after that, this became completely a suspicion. When I spoke to Sanjay Raut, he clearly mentioned that whole night there was they kept trying to get in touch with Eknath Shinde, and this is not for the first time that Eknath Shinde, a senior minister in Uddhav Thackeray's ministry and his de facto number 2 not only in the administration but also in the party affairs, other than Aditya Thackeray, had completely gone missing. And after that, Supriya Sule was there in the night at CM's residence. Jayant Patil, the Maharashtra Pradesh Chief of NCP, was there. They were also in touch with the Congress party, and suddenly they were just coming out of the shock that BJP had managed to win and defeat MVA again in the MLC elections. They got to know that their own people have gone missing. Now, how this was brewing, Eknath Shinde from day one, from 2019, who had grown close to Devendra Fadnavis during 2014 to 2019 BJP Shiv Sena government, have been telling Uddhav Thackeray that not to have an alliance with Congress and NCP, for the simple reason is that many of the MLAs of Shiv Sena, especially from Marathwada, Western Maharashtra and Vidarbha region, had fought against the Congress and NCP candidate and have won their election. Their main fight is going to be against Congress and NCP. So tomorrow, in the scenario when the Congress, NCP and Shiv Sena decides to contest together, these MLAs were worried that they will there is a little chance for them to get re-elected, and that is the reason why break the alliance with Congress and NCP. You have had your 2.5 years of chief ministership. Now go with the BJP, solve the issues with the central agencies with which many of their leaders are facing at this point of time, and ally with the BJP. Uddhav Thackeray clearly said that if the BJP is ready to retain his chief ministership, then he is ready to have an alliance with the BJP. Eknath Shinde's time was actually running out. BJP was closely monitoring the whole situation. The whole rebellion was growing within the Shiv Sena MLAs over the period of time. What added to all this fury was basically Uddhav Thackeray was not in touch with a lot of MLAs because of his ill health earlier, then because of his own administrative styles, and also due to COVID, and that actually fueled the anger within the Shiv Sena MLAs, which who decided to go with Eknath Shinde at this point of time. Now the question remains, if Eknath Shinde wants to have his group intact and want to form a separate group without attracting and avoid attracting anti-defection law, he should have at least 37 MLAs with him, and that is the number he is trying to reach at this point of time. 3 MLAs who were brought in by the Shiv Senics to Chief Minister's residence in the morning today. Eknath Shinde has communicated to Uddhav Thackeray that communicate with them, talk to them, and once you decide that you are ready to ally with the BJP, I am going to take back my rebellion. I am not going to break the party. I'll come back with you, accept your leadership, and then let's work with the BJP, which is unlikely to happen. The whole existence of today's government is basically by nature itself is to keep BJP away from power in Maharashtra. Thackerays are not going to allow this. Now we'll have to wait and see that how many MLAs actually buy this argument of being with Eknath Shinde, because Eknath Shinde can form a group of MLAs and form a separate group by having 2/3 MLAs with him. But will he be able to run a separate party, or eventually all these MLAs will have to absorb themselves in the BJP. That is the question which a lot of MLAs are facing at this point of time. But looking at the situation, this is the biggest challenge the Shiv Sena leadership have ever faced in its lifetime. Even before, when there was a rebellion by Chhagan Bhujbal in 1991, then Narayan Rane in 2004, and then Raj Thackeray in 2006. All these rebellions happened when Shiv Sena was not in power. Shiv Sena was an opposition party, and not many MLAs could, all these leaders could not manage to get more MLAs on their side. But this defection, this rebellion is happening at the time when Shiv Sena is running the government. The chief minister is from Shiv Sena, and not only that, Uddhav Thackeray himself, who is a Shiv Sena chief, is also the chief minister. And that is the time when this is happening, and that's why this is a serious threat, serious challenge to the leadership of Shiv Sena at this point of time. Finally, whenever it comes to the number game, BJP and this splinter group needs to reach to 145 figure. Right now, they are not yet able to reach there. But eventually, if they reach there, then their rebellion will be successful, and MVA countdown has already begun.
I'm going to go to the top stories, but Sahil, I'm going to pull you in more because, you talk about that this is the biggest threat where the Shiv Sena leadership is in question, which is Uddhav Thackeray. I want to ask you, how big a threat right now, how real is the threat of Operation Lotus 2.0 succeeding? Because the alliance, if you look at it, you had Sharad Pawar who came out and said, listen, everything is okay with the alliance, it's an internal problem of the Shiv Sena. Will it remain the internal problem of the Shiv Sena, or can it threaten to pull the entire alliance down is the big question. Also, Sahil, how much credence to a rumor which is right now generating a lot of steam when one says that Eknath Shinde was offered to become the chief minister and Uddhav offered to step down?
No, I don't think that is a possibility at this point of time, because if that would have been the case, Shiv Sena wouldn't have taken a decision to take Eknath Shinde down from the leadership of the legislative party of Shiv Sena in Maharashtra Assembly. They have sacked him as a leader of legislative party. Again, if that particular letter, how many people were actually attending Shiv Sena's meeting today at Uddhav Thackeray's residence is also under question. Because Sanjay Raut claims that there were 33 MLAs, but the information what we are getting, that not more than 18 to 20 MLAs were present at that particular time when Uddhav Thackeray called meeting at Varsha. So Uddhav Thackeray is not going to resign so soon. They are still going to try their level best. That is what they have communicated to Sharad Pawar as well, that yes, it's an internal party issue. Give us some time to sort this out. If more MLAs could manage to come back to Shiv Sena, then it looks like that the government will not fall. The Uddhav Thackeray and Congress and NCP will stand by together. But if that does not happen, just remember what happened in 2019. Ajit Pawar managed to do the same thing, but Ajit Pawar could not manage to keep his MLAs intact with him, and he finally was left alone. And because of that, the BJP's try to have alliance with the government in alliance with Ajit Pawar could not succeed, and finally Ajit Pawar had to come back to his uncle Sharad Pawar. This time Eknath Shinde has managed to take all those MLAs outside Maharashtra, where they cannot be reached from Maharashtra. The Maharashtra government, Shiv Senics or the Shiv Sena as a party is not able to reach there. So his proposal is very simple. Have an alliance with BJP, leave your chief ministership, go with BJP, the party will remain intact. If that does not happen, the party is going to break. That is the proposal which Eknath Shinde is trying to put forward in front of Uddhav Thackeray. Now, it's up to Uddhav Thackeray to take up this challenge and fight this battle, or just give it up and have an alliance with the BJP. That is something which Uddhav Thackeray will have to take call.
Sahil, I'm going to let you go for the next 40 minutes. I'm going to, come back, join me live again.